my earliest childhood memories was when I was 3 years old. My mom worked at a daycare center called Wee Pals. She was a teacher there, and she was tasked with opening the school. And I remember one morning we were there. It was dark. I believe it was like fall or winter time. Um, and I remember getting to the school, it was still dark, and there was a few kids there waiting to be let in. And there were kids coming in, and I was with my mom. And then I decided to go into the back and see if anybody was back there, to play with. And I went into my classroom, and there was a boy there I hadn't met before. Um, and he was playing with this. It was like a Sesame Street little like racing kind of track thing where you had like all like little racers and you'd race them around this track, and I thought it was really cool. And so I went up and we played with that together, and he became probably the first friend really that I ever made. I don't remember his name. That was it. It was just preschool. And then after the age of 4, like he was at my 4th birthday. But then after that, that was it. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I don't remember him or like his name, but I do remember, sitting down and playing the little Sesame Street racer, and it was dark. No one didn't even turn on the lights. And we just sat there and talked about our favorite Sesame Street characters. And it didn't really, it didn't really dawn on me that he had a different color skin. Like, really, it didn't register. It didn't matter to me. It was like, oh, he's into Sesame Street and race cars, and I love those two things, so this is awesome. It wasn't until later when I recognized that, oh, he has a darker color skin than I do. And I didn't think of that as being a thing that was an issue. Like, it was like, oh, cool. In fact, actually, I was a little bit jealous. I thought that was awesome. Like, oh, he's got darker skin than I am. I felt I kind of thought it was cool. Like his hair, like I liked, the kid, like the short curlier hair. And I thought that was neat. That looked good. I was like kind of jealous. But I never thought of it as being anything other than just like when someone has a different colored shirt on or a different color of hair. It didn't register as anything else to me, but I was very curious. And I remember asking my parents about, people with different colored skin. And my parents explained to me, my dad explained, mom too, but dad was kind of the person who would, take the reins on those kind of things and knew the history and stuff. And, him and I have a lot in common, I guess, in that way. But he, explained that our ancestors came from Europe, and because it was colder up there's not as much sunlight, that, we have more like a reflective skin. And that somehow like the reflective skin and it made it to where we could be warmer or something. Whereas people that have ancestry from Africa had darker skin because they don't want to get burned or hurt by the sun. So they've developed skin that soaks in the sun and the heat. And explain it to me in a very basic, scientific way that a 3-year-old could understand. And so I understood, and it made sense. I when I was young like that, my parents were pretty good about not, bombarding me with all this like angry, just flashing colors kind of television and stuff. Like I did watch, a lot of the OPB, PBS stuff. Like Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, and on these shows and things, they people just were people. Like we didn't talk about, their color, their race. Everything it just was what it was. So I was really, I was confused when I found out that people would be treated differently because of that. And I was like, well, there's something more to it. And then it was explained to me that, okay, these people who came from Africa, they didn't act the same as the people who came from Europe. The people from Europe, they dressed a certain way. They were into higher education. They wanted to travel the world and basically conquer it. And these other people, because they weren't like that, were considered savages, which is exactly what we call the Native Americans when the Europeans came to the Americas. They were savages too, simply because they didn't live the way that Europeans did. And so in the Americas, while we murdered the savages here, we went to Africa and kidnapped the savages there to bring them here to work for free, which helped America become the richest country in the world. Until 1863, Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln was like, enough of that. We're all people. You shouldn't treat people differently because of their skin. They should be free. So that's what we're celebrating, this weekend, the Juneteenth celebration. But that was what? Let me do the quick math. That was 157 years ago. Am I right? I think. So that was 157 years ago when the slaves were freed. 157 years ago. And since then, there's been civil rights movements, gaining the right to vote, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until now. We have, on paper anyway, black people have the same rights as everybody. We all have the same rights, right? On paper. Okay? We've come that far. Hell, there's even been a black president. Okay? They've gotten jobs, of course. They've, contributed a lot to society, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think we've gotten past the point where they're savages now. Right? Right? We can agree on that? So why the fuck is it still happening? Why the fuck are we still, not we, but they? Why the fuck are there people that are still looking at people whose skin color is based on the fact that their ancestors came from a place that was hotter, so their skin needed to adapt to that? Why the hell is that a problem? This is 2020! This is 157 years after the fucking freeing of the slaves, and why are we still having this conversation? Why? This is madness! Are we serious? Come on! What the fuck? What the hell? Why are we still here? Why is this still a problem? Why the hell can't some people get over? They're not savages, so what the fuck is your problem? Just because someone has a different color. What? Explain it to me. Superiority in race? What the fuck? Fuck you. And the problem is that the people who think like this, a lot of them are the ones who want they want to be in power. These are the authorities. The people that we trust to be in charge. What the fuck? Seriously? That's why this is happening. That's why this movement is happening. Why this revolution is taking off. Because we're done with it. It's fucking stupid. We know, some of us, anyway, know exactly why this is still happening. And the people, the powers that be, that are making it still happen, that's the problem. And you know what? It's not just the black people that they're after. Okay? They hate us all. Anybody who's not some rich, affluent, You know, if you're not part of their club, their fraternity, okay? They don't give a shit about you. You know, people can go out and vote for whoever they want, but they don't give a fuck about you. None of them. They're there to do the bidding of the rich. Why? Because they line their pockets. It's all about money. This revolution starts with the Black Lives Matter movement. Why? Because it's like if you burn your hand. If you fucking hand's on fire, right? Okay? So your hand's on fire and you put it out and this fucking pinky is charred to shit. Okay, we've got, you know, high level second degree, close to third degree burns here. We've got second degree burns here, severe first degree. So okay, varying degrees, we take care of the whole hand, but we start with what's worse off. How do people not get that? Hello? It's simple. But it's just the beginning. And the big question is, what do we do next? What's next? That's what I've been hearing. Oh, this is a great start. It is. I haven't seen anything like this in the 38 years of my life. I haven't seen anything like... My dad's told me he hasn't seen anything like this. This is huge. But we cannot let this become just some fad that lasted for a month. Okay, oh, that was fun. Okay, it can't just be some fun hashtag or some way to feel like you're a white knight or some way to feel like, you know, oh, I'm part of this cool thing. No, this is fucking serious. We need to fucking continue. Okay, this needs to be like an avalanche, a snowball rolling down the hill. Okay, we cannot let this be a fad. This isn't just some flash in the pan. Okay, this is a fucking revolution. And it is time. It is time for each and every one of us to do our part. So you ask the question, what's next? Okay, well, let me tell you what's next, all right? So this whole thing started, all right, with the George Floyd business, okay? After all of that, we had people in the streets. We have all the protesters, right? Now we've got the fucking asshole motherfucking Antifa shit. Don't fucking be bought in by that crap, okay? These Antifa people are the fucking government racists that are pretending to be protesters, but they're just trying to make it violent, to make the peaceful protests look more violent than they are, okay? Let's not fucking be stupid. Let's not fall for this shit, alright? Thank you. So, other than that, it's been pretty peaceful. And I've seen, you know, people holding signs, you know, people walking around, you know, chanting, there's music, there's all kinds of stuff. But one of the things that I've noticed is just, well, let me put it this way. So, for the past 2 years, I've been helping to take care of a guy. I'm a caregiver, if you don't know. I've been helping to take care of this guy that lives out in North Portland area. And we often walk around Columbia Park. It's a nice park. And for 2 years we walked around there, and I'm telling you, for 2 years, I very rarely saw black people hanging out at the park. Now, I didn't notice that until recently. Because recently, ever since this happened, every single day when we go there, black people all over the park, playing their music, having their barbecues, having a great time, enjoying their life. It's like as if they were afraid to go out in public. And then this movement happened, and now, not just because they needed to show their face, but because I think they have a little more confidence in the fact that, you know, where allies are coming out. Fucking people who weren't even really allies before, who were silent, are coming out. The response to this has been overwhelming. And, you know, the people in the black community that I've spoken to pretty much all agree that this is a response bigger than they would have ever expected on the positive side. But there's still the negative backlash. Why? It's bullshit. And we need to push back. We cannot give in. This is a good first start. You know, what happened in Minneapolis, you know, what's happening around the world. But it can't stop here. Every fucking time they do this, beating their fucking ass every time. We need to fucking unify. Come together and show them we're not going to do this shit. Every time the authorities fuck up, not just killing black people, not just killing people, every time they fuck up, when they want to tell us what we can put in or take out of our bodies, fuck them. Boot up their ass. Every time they kill somebody without trial, boot up their fucking ass. Anytime a city doesn't react this way to these injustices, to this marginalization, boot up their ass. As a country, we fucking ridicule them. Okay? Because we cannot let this shit continue. This fucking racism, the authoritative corruption, the murder of people who should be innocent until proven guilty. And even if they're guilty, shouldn't have been killed for the shit they did. This ends. This is over. The revolution is here, and there ain't a goddamn thing anyone is gonna do about it. Except for us, right? We need to unify. We need to unify as one. We cannot let their bullshit narrative and what you see on TV about it's whites versus black. No, bullshit. The racists are a small percentage, but they're getting all the coverage because the people that run all this shit want to control the narrative. They want to keep us fighting. But no, the thing they fear the most is us coming together as one. That's what we need to do. We need to take back this country, take back this world for us, for we the people. Because they're supposed to be working for us and not the other way around. This shit needs to end. Because if you think that they're gonna stop at black people, oh, you're fucking wrong. They're not gonna stop there. You sit there and be complacent until they come for you, for your fucking children? Huh? Or are you going to step up beforehand, before they get there? They can go ahead and militarize the streets. They can bring tanks in and fucking throw paint canisters, shoot paint canisters at people, okay? We're not going to fucking back down. Ever again. We can't afford to. This ends. This is over. Their system, their game, all this shit, it ends. Yeah, it starts with the Black Lives Matter movement. But it continues on with everybody together, unified. We cannot let them do this anymore. But the revolution needs to be peaceful. I mean, look at Turkey. Look what they did. Everybody staying like 6 feet away from each other. Just complete silence. Shut the whole damn city down. Okay? We need to keep it peaceful. Don't let these bullshit fucking assholes come in and make it seem all violent. It's bullshit. Let's stop them. Tell them to fuck off. Continue being peaceful and unified. That's what they're afraid of. We need to dismantle the system, okay? Voting would work in a system that's not corrupt, that's not rigged, okay? Voting locally, sure, but we're talking about federal elections. We're talking about the people that represent us, okay? The whole system is based on who can fuck over the most people for money. There's racism involved, sexism, every ism you can think of. It is a corrupt, broken system, and what we need to do is dismantle it and start again from the bottom up with the 99% in charge, okay? So you ask what's next? Here's what's next. Keep doing what we're doing. Keep making signs. Keep protesting. Keep it going. There's huge waves being made. Changes in legislation. Let's keep it going until we get everything we want as a people. Everything that we need to be free. To truly be a free and unified country. Okay? Real patriotism isn't pretending there's not a problem and still loving your country. Real patriotism is standing up when your country has done wrong. Okay? Some of you know what this jersey represents. Okay? Hey, black people tried. They tried to be peaceful about it. They tried to just tell everyone, but they were told to shut up. So they said, fuck you. You're going to continue to do what you're doing to our people? Fuck you. We tried to tell you, but you didn't listen. So now we got to speak a little bit louder. Oh, people are listening now. Well, gee, I wonder why. And that's what we need to do. Black, white, Latin, Asian, everyone. We need to fucking have our voices heard. No more. The rich, the elites, the 1%. This isn't your world. This is our world. And we need to take it back. We outnumber them 99-1. What the fuck are they going to do? Nothing. So what's next? Okay, here you go. Continue the protests. Make those signs. Don't back down. Don't be afraid to speak out to your friends and family. You know, if there's people that you know that are like, well, I don't know, whatever, all lives matter. No, fucking tell them what's up. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Ever. Help out the communities in your area. Volunteer if you need. Donate to charitable organizations that are helping the black community. Ask your friends in the black community what you can do to help. Support those that are speaking out. Give support to those who are standing up, who are trying to lead this revolution, because that's what it is. Oh, it's a movement. It starts with Black Lives Matter. It's a movement. But this whole thing is a revolution. It's going that direction. We need to use this whole thing as a catalyst to push us all into a revolution, because that's the only way we're truly going to be free, is if we take over as the 99%, unified as one. That's the only way. In love and light, we need to unify, to work together. That's what's next. Never back down. Always be vigilant and diligent. Do not let the system corrupt you. We need to dismantle the system. Never, never again do we let them tell us who we need to be, what we need to be. Never again do we let them treat other people based on color, skin. That's bullshit. Never again do we let those things happen without a huge retaliation. It doesn't need to be violent, but it needs to be loud. Alright, friends, I love you all. I'll be doing a video every week now on this new channel. I'd love to hear your words and what you have to say about this. Show your support for the movement in any way that you can. Alright? We can do this, but it's got to be together. In unity, peace, love, and light. Alright? Take care. Love you all.